live, it now says, I'm alive. Hello, everyone. Bill Apter with an Apter chat out of nowhere. Wanted to let you know that tomorrow night, hey, Dave, wanted to let you know that tomorrow night, Thursday night, our usual night of the Bill Apter video. Jump on and do hey, Tony, I'm doing Apter chat out of nowhere to answer your questions, because one of the things that people have I don't answer enough questions. Hello, Moshmaster D. So as I open this Apter chat out of nowhere, and I don't know, could last 3 minutes, could last 30 minutes, could last 3 days. You know what? That would be amazing. Just do a, because, you know, I was a big Jerry Lewis fan. I used to sit up all Labor Day weekend and watch the telethon. So maybe we should do an Apter chat out of nowhere thon. But what I wanted to do, Moshmaster, I will, whatever happened to Ted and Jerry Oates? As far as I know, they're still alive. They're just not wrestling. Andrew Rojas, good shirt. Well, thank you. Are you wearing the same? Are you wearing the same shirt? So it's a plaid shirt day. My wife picked it out, but I tell everybody that that I picked it out. Okay, into the room here is Luke Geddes. Hey, Bill, love your work. Respect from New Zealand. Wow. So it's here. It's 10:53 p.m. on Wednesday night. So what time is it there, Luke, in New Zealand? You know, there's a wrestler when I was growing up that I used to see in person all the time on the New York shows, and his name was Abe Jacobs, and he was from New Zealand, I believe. Teddy Two Stone Cold. Hey, Two Stone Heart. Bill, any news on the CM Punk lawsuit? I do not have any information on that. You could go to WrestleZone.com. I know that Nick Houseman has been there covering that. I haven't really been covering that part. I don't cover a lot of that kind of stuff in the business. I tend to cover, like I did back in the magazine days, I tend to cover more of the stuff that goes on the TV shows and in the ring. Dave 25, when will WWE produce a better product on Fox than USA? There are a lot of people who like what the USA product is, so it depends what your taste is and what is what you like. But it could be a different product completely, because I do understand that Fox is also going to do a possible weekday or weeknight, or maybe on the weekend, half-hour type of wrestling news show to do with WWE. I've heard that from several of my friends in WWE, but it's nothing confirmed yet. But if I were Fox, I'd want it to look different than the SmackDown show on USA, because you don't want it to look like, you want it to look like a more original product, I would think. So whether the format will change or anything like that, I really don't know at this point. But I'm glad, you know, WWE is, man, when I first started seeing them as WWF, who would have thunk that they would be this big, this in the world? So let me go back up to your questions again. I want to answer your questions tonight. And once again, as I mentioned, our usual weekly Thursday night show will not take place tomorrow night. I'm on assignment. Happy Rusev Day. Thank you, Teddy. Happy Rusev Day to everyone out there. Everyone out there. Somebody just IM me here. Let's see. It's Patrick Laughlin. All right, let's see what Patrick has to say. Patrick said, hey, Bill, and hey, Patrick. Hey, Bill, what do you see for independent wrestling with the All-In event in the making? I think this is like the explosion of independent wrestling. I think this is independent, what will be the independent wrestling WrestleMania, all in. I think it's going to happen hopefully a few times a year in different cities. And StarCast will be similar to what WrestleCon is. Now, before I answer any more questions, there's a statement I need to make. You've probably heard this about me. I'm all in. Yes, the promoter of StarCast, someone you all know very well. He's the king of the podcast producing and all that. Conrad Thompson and I had a discussion recently, and I will be part of StarCast. So my role is not totally defined yet, but I definitely will be there, probably coming in Thursday night and staying till Sunday afternoon. And I can't wait to see the All In show there. I just think that this is amazing that from that dare that Dave Meltzer made, that he didn't think that any independent company could fill 10,000 seats. And Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks said, oh, yes, I can. Shout out to Big Ray Hernandez, by the way. He's on assignment right now, so he can't be here. But yeah, I just, this is amazing. So I am all in at this point. And also the week before Thanksgiving, Kayfabe Events is bringing me to England to do my one-man show and also do book signings there. I'm not sure what cities I'm going to be doing that in just yet, but I wanted to let you people know. June 9th, I'm expecting to see you, all of you at Legends of the Ring in Monroe Township, New Jersey. I will be there doing interviews. I'll have books for sale. And if you have a book or the audio book, bring it so I can sign it for you. There's no charge for me signing the book. But go to www, not www. Go to www.legendsofthering.com and you can find out everything about it. And my man Alex D will be there with me. So yeah, I can't wait to see all of you there in Jersey. Okay, let's get back to your questions. Andrew Rojas, thank you, Andrew, for coming back in. Black NHL San Jose Sharks sweatshirt over here. I'm not sure what you mean, but maybe that's what you're wearing. So that's cool. Richard Bain, Bill, the match I always wanted to see is Ric Flair versus Bruno Sammartino. Bruno in his prime versus Ric Flair in his prime. Let's see in that dream match who you think would have won. Let's not do like this is a work or anything. Let's treat this like it's a real match. Ric Flair, the National Wrestling Alliance champion, against Bruno Sammartino in his prime. Who would win? It would be a very unusual match because here you have two guys. Well, and not an unusual match, but it would be a great match because you have two guys who can brawl and wrestle. But in the end, and this is no discredit at all to the Nature Boy, but in the end, I think Bruno Sammartino would wind up winning that particular match. So what do you think? Bruno or Ric Flair? Okay, so Richard, what about you? You said that was your dream match. So let's take a look and see what you say, who would win that dream match. Brendan, welcome into the Apter's Alley. Apter, what is the best way to get into the wrestling industry? As what, Brendan? Do you want to be a wrestler, a broadcaster, a valet, a trainer? What do you want to do? Maybe I can give you some advice. Oh, Brendan, you asked the same. Okay, What advice would you give me to start getting into media for wrestling? Get a webcam. You probably have one already. And get a YouTube channel. Start doing a YouTube show about wrestling. Make it different than everyone else's. Get a massive following because you're doing something different than everyone else. And then people will see who you are. But the best advice I can give you, and through all my years in the business, I give this advice to people all the time, is don't tick anyone off. Once you tick someone off, they're going to get a bug up their butts and they're not going to want you around. Be respectful to the business that you want to get into. And, don't tick anybody off. That's the key to success. And all the years that I've been in this business, over 50 years, and I'm still doing it, is maybe I've ticked off 2 or 3 people back in the magazine days, but they're all straightened out. There's ways to do that. But if you're young and hungry, the business that I broke into is totally different than the business now. And had I not kept changing with the business, I'd be one of those people who you'd say, oh, I remember him. I don't ever want to be that guy. Sorry, but it's the hay fever season, and it's a little nosy. So hopefully that would give you some answers. Mosh Master D, the one with the honky tonk man. Luke, okay, gotcha. Brendan, Bill, what advice would you give me to start getting into well, we just answered that. Also, does WWE pay me anything at all? When I did appearances on the WWE network for some of the documentaries, I was paid. Yes, absolutely. I'm a professional and they paid me for that. Do they pay me for anything else? No. When I do this stuff, I'm totally independent of them. I've always been independent of them. If you read my book, Yes, It's That Time, Is Wrestling Fixed? I didn't know it was broken. Or if you get the audio version, you can either read or hear about another time that I was paid by the WWF. Yes, when it was the World Wrestling Federation, and they had hired me to get memorabilia for their very first Hall of Fame. It's in the book. It's in the audio book. Both of them. Okay, Amazon.com. Or you can get them at June 9th at Legends of the Ring, where I will be, or you can get them at StarCast, where I will be as well, or in England when I come over for kayfabe events, and a lot of other appearances coming up. Okay, let's see. When I'm looking down here, I'm looking at the box with you people asking me questions. Tony, MD Song, so I guess you will be on the Young Bucks being the elite. Maybe, I don't know, the show. Young Bucks show being the elite, I don't know. I would love to be on that, definitely. Brendan, Bill, do you have an agent? I do not. I pretty much do everything on my own, only because my name got out there and I became somebody in this business thanks to you people following me. So no, I make my own deals pretty much. There's nothing wrong with having an agent at all. If you need to make inroads and you don't have the time or not capable of doing that on your own, sure, get an agent. There's nothing wrong with that. Another tweet, Blue Chip Talent has retweeted that in 5 minutes. Well, you're late, Blue Chip Talent. Andrew Rojas, Thanksgiving, getting me hungry for turkey cranberry sandwich. Thanksgiving, that would be Starcade. Andrew, I'm not sure what you're talking about. I did have turkey meatloaf tonight. Had a TV dinner. Marie Callender's turkey meatloaf, potatoes, and spinach. It's pretty good. Yeah. I don't eat a lot of food. I'm a candy holic. I eat like 5 things. I only like 2 kinds of seafood: bumblebee and chicken of the sea. I'm a big pizza guy. I'm a big dark chocolate guy. I love tuna salad, chicken salad, burgers, and more pizza. And I don't drink alcohol at all. Sparkling ice is my drink. Fanta orange soda. So, okay. Jody Adley. Hello, Mr. Apter. Hello, Mr. Adley. Here. Moshmaster, will Grimm be at the Legends event? I'm not really sure. Go to www.legendsofthering.com and everybody's listed on there. Brennan, sign an audiobook? Good Lord, we are in 2067. Yes, I do sign the audiobooks. What I do is open it up. Here's the audio. The insert here comes out. Thus, I can sign the audiobook. Yeah. Aha, got you there. You didn't think I could do that. Are we in 2067? Could be 2068. Teddy said, I want to get stoned with RVD. Nothing I can arrange. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let's go back here. Andrew Rojas Kayfabe. Okay, Kayfabe. Moshmaster D, Broadway. Okay, not sure what you're talking about there. Oh, you mean the match between Bruno and Ric Flair would be a 1 hour match, which they used to call a Broadway. I don't know why they called it a Broadway, by the way. So unless the first 1 hour match was actually done on Broadway, who knows? They say the match is on Broadway. Teddy Two Stoned Heart, in all caps. Rick was the greatest world champion. There is a line that I don't cross when I discuss these kind of things. Rick was a fabulous multi-time world champion. And generationally, is that a word? Yeah. It depends what generation you watched wrestling in that took you by the hand and swept you away to who you think the greatest champion was. Yeah. Tony MD Song, did you see the great documentary on Mauro Ranallo, the bipolar rock and roller? Of course I did. Yeah, very brave. I knew Mauro before he got into wrestling. He was, and he still is, a boxing broadcaster and also MMA. And yeah, he's very brave to come out like that and do that documentary. So, Mauro, if you're watching this, and I know you watch a lot of what I do, 10 million thumbs up to you for doing that. Yeah. Jody said Bruno would win. Bobby Hopkins, first question of the night from Bobby. Hi, Bobby. What's your favorite memory of the Von Erichs? That would be going with editor Craig Peters down to the Von Erich ranch outside of Dallas, where Fritz was there, Kerry, Kevin, and Mike. And Craig and I had a photo studio set up with us, and we posed and interviewed the three boys. And we just had such a great time. We had dinner with the whole Von Erich family, Doris and Fritz and everybody at the table. And it was wonderful telling stories about the wrestling business. And Craig and I told stories about the wrestling magazines. And yeah, it was an absolute wonderful time. And it's so tragic what happened to most of that family. And I was actually closest with Kerry, closest with David to start with. And yeah, I miss those boys. Kevin and I talk a few times a year, and I'm glad he's still with us. I really am. Richard Bain, Bill, there are matches on YouTube where Harley Race teams with Nick Bockwinkel and the take on Hanson and Brody. I'm not sure what you're asking me. Do you want to know what I think about Stan Hansen and Bruiser Brody? Two of the most the real tough guys in wrestling. Hearts of gold. They could be pussycats. They really could. Yeah. But both of them extremely tough. I traveled with many years, including in Japan, with Hansen and Brody. And those were two guys you did not mess around with at all. But Hansen is still a good friend of mine. He cannot tell the difference between me and the photographer, writer of the other magazines, George Napolitano, who started around the same time I did. He always calls him Bill and calls me George. Brody, I speak with his widow, Barbara, all the time. Love her to death. So, all right. Timothy Phillips Jr. Hey, Bill, here's a different question for you. What is your favorite wrestling T-shirt of all time? Wow, I've got a ton of them down here. Of all time would probably be I have the sweatshirt version, but I had the T-shirt version. Can you wait a minute and I'll be right back? Okay. You can look at the stuff back here. Let me get the sweatshirt version. Don't go away. I'm still here. This is, okay. So this is the sweatshirt version of what was my favorite T-shirt. And it was, the back of it was, I don't care. And the front of it was a photo that I took of Hawk and Animal, the Road Warriors. So I had this, and I have it somewhere in one of my drawers. But this was number 2 now that I'm thinking of it. There's one I have upstairs, and I can't go upstairs right now and get this, of all the ECW characters. I believe Tommy Dreamer created this shirt, so I will try and bring it on to the next After Chat out of nowhere. I'll bring some of the next ones on my either this or on my show a week from Thursday. I'll bring down a lot of the shirt memorabilia that I have. What's your favorite one? Timothy Phillips Jr. Hey, Bill, here's a different question. What's your favorite? Okay, we did that. MD Song, I'm my own booking agent myself. I know you are, Tony. Brendan, am I married? Is that like a proposal? I am. I liked marriage so much. This is my second time around, but I flirt. I'm a known flirt. I love the pretty ladies. I always do. So, Teddy, Bill, do you think Adam Pearce was a good NWA champion? I see him on Raw Monday. Yes, he was a classic NWA champion. If they had me pick a role model of someone who would follow in the lineage of like Dory Funk Jr., Jack Briscoe, those classic wrestlers, Adam Pearce is right in there with him. Brendan is laughing. He said, oh my God, my life is complete. You're the best, Bill. Well, thank you very much, Brendan. I'm glad you're having a good time. Bobby Hopkins, how was the concession stand food at the Sportatorium during the Von Erich era? The burgers were real. They were so bad. They were delicious. They really were. And the hot dogs were equally too. You know what? Nobody's ever asked me that question. And that just made me taste it all over again. The Sportatorium food. Wow. I remember the food at Sunnyside Garden, where I grew up in Queens. They had good hamburgers, good hot dogs, and they had soft pretzels there. And I remember Harry, the pretzel vendor, there. And he couldn't, I don't know if it was something, if he had a speech impediment, but, instead of yelling out pretzels, he yelled out hattus, get your hattus. His name was Harry Exit, and he was a comedian. And I used to say, is that your real name, Harry Exit? And he said, yeah, I picked that out because my name is all over the building. Pretty cool. I can't believe I just remember that. Tony said the audio book is, shall I quote J.J. Evans, Dynamite. J.J., yes, from the Jeffersons. Thank you, Tony. Michael Fryer. Good evening, Mr. Apter. Good evening, Mr. Fryer. Am I pronouncing that right? I hope. Richard Bain said, my friend Danny wants to see Giant Baba versus Big Show. That would be very difficult because Giant Baba had passed on quite a while ago. So if he can figure out a way to do that match. People in the magazine days all wanted to see Andre against Baba, and didn't happen. I think we may have done that as a dream match in the wrestling magazines. Somebody just clinged on my phone here again. I do want to talk to you, by the way. Please go to onewrestling.com, and on the top of the page is a banner ad for 350 days. And it's a new documentary that's not coming right now to Netflix or anything. It's going to be on July 12th. It's going to be in select, it's a Fathom event. And it's going to be in your local movie theaters. So go to onewrestling.com, the wrestling website that I work for, and I've been at for a long time, and I love it there. Click on the banner right at the top that says 355 days and watch the trailer. Now, what I'm going to do, I am going July 12th at 7 p.m. to see that movie. I will be going to the Regal Movie Theater in Warrington, Pennsylvania. And I'm inviting people to come and see it with me, and then we can go out for pizza afterwards. I am not paying your admission charge, and I'm not paying for the pizza. But if you'd like to go hang out on July 12th at the Regal Warrington Theater in Warrington, Pennsylvania, I'm not paying airfares either. Come and do that. We'll watch the movie. Maybe we'll do a live Apter chat from somewhere with Wi-Fi afterwards. But yeah, let me know if you want to show up. You can IM me on Facebook or email me at beapter@onewrestling.com or tweet me or whatever. Okay. Teddy, it's still real to me, damn it. You know, I was hosting that event, and I didn't know it was at the Jimmy Kimmel show put it on the air, and that became quite classic. But yeah. And you know what? I like to sit back and make it real to me too. You can suspend belief like you do when you go to a movie. I think there needs to be some kayfabe events, because you know when I know what's good? The next day after Raw or SmackDown or Impact or Ring of Honor or any of the shows that I watch, that I'm walking my dog Lexi Rose in the morning near the school bus. The kids are talking about what happened the night before on wrestling. And I used to do that too when I was growing up as a kid in Queens, New York. So yeah, we all have to bring our minds back to our school days, and unless it's the Lashley segment, of course. What is this? Jordan Culberson, $10. My goal is to get wrestling big in Chattanooga again. We not only got the Nick Gula show, but we also got the Georgia wrestling too. Most important wrestling city no one knows about. Interesting. So what you need to do, Jordan, is send me an email at beapter@onewrestling.com and tell me more about this. And maybe we can give them some great publicity. Tony would like to know my memories on how I liked Minnesota. I loved when I was in Minnesota, and I used to go and cover Vern Gagne's shows. Great time in my career, and I loved the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul. I touristed there many times. I went to I didn't know it, gay bar with Medusa. It's in the book. Not going to say anything more about that right now. But yeah, I just heard I had a wonderful time. Did you notice, by the way, that the comb over is still here, but I cut the hair. Hopefully it looks good here. Richard Bain, Jack Briscoe versus Vern Gagne would be amazing, Bill, in their prime. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely. I would have loved to have seen that. You know who we don't talk about a lot when we talk about scientific wrestlers? Bob Backlund was an amazing wrestler. Backlund Briscoe, Backlund Gagne, I mean, Backlund Flair, which I saw, but no, Backlund was the epitome before he went crazy and became Mr. Backlund, sir. He was absolutely tremendous. I used to love watching his matches. Yeah, he was a great wrestler. Andrew, when's the next time you and Lionel going to do a show together again? He has to invite me on. I would love to do another show with Lionel. Please send him a note and say that you want Wonderful Willie on there again. Okay, there's another text that has just come in. It's an interaction on Twitter. So I don't know what I ever did without this thing. Yeah, really. It's an Android, by the way. People say, do you have an iPhone? I say, I have an earphone. It's talking about me being psyched to be all in, to be part of All In and to start cast. Bill, name me 5 top arenas you saw, covered, or experienced. Oh, that take me forever. But the number one, of course, was Madison Square Garden. Period. The end. That's 1 through 5. No. The old Omni in Atlanta, I used to love to go to. The Superdome, the Tokyo Dome, and I don't hurt any feelings. So I can't go and talk about other. I'm trying to think, though, what the 5th one would probably be. The Florida Sportatorium. These are places that I was at a lot covering the matches. Mr. Randy 1, Leaping Lanny Poffo. So I don't know, do you have a question about Leaping Lanny? I talked to him last week. He's one of my best buddies. Yeah. Andre Corbeil. Hello, Andre. I still love you, Wonderful Willie. Thank you, Andre. It's good to hear from you as always. And yeah, thank you for tuning in there. And so, by the way, Andre, I had to correct you many times on this in the past. Wonderful Willie is Willie. There's no Y in it. Okay. So thank you very much. The Great One. Hey, Bill. Hey, the Great One. Is it the Great One? What's your name? It doesn't matter what your name is. Richard Bain. Bill, did you go to any wrestling events in London, England? I was on many of them. You could, Alex Shane's FMW had me as a guest on several of his shows. I was at, what's that promoter's name? The older man who's been around forever. I was to 2 or 3 shows that he did. Why can't I think of his name? Somebody help me. Let me Google this. Hold on a minute. Oh, it's right. British wrestling. There's a classic list of wrestling promotions. List of wrestling promotions. I can't think of his name. It's going to drive me nuts. And I was at several of his shows, and I'm going to have to hit up my buddy Steve Linsky to actually, I'm going to see if he's around right now, and I'm going to IM him. Hold on a minute. Hang on a minute, because he's in England right now, so it's middle of the night. But I'm going to hit him up anyway and see if he's, unless any of you know that, and you can tell me right now. So let me see. This is live, so are you there, Solinsky? Name of old school motor in UK you brought me to times. Okay, so we'll see if he answers. Hopefully it's middle of the night. We're waking him up there. So Yeah, Richard, been to many shows there, and I used to love the matches between Jody Fleisch and Johnny Storm. Johnny Storm, yeah, they were great. They were absolutely great. Timothy Phillips Jr., my favorite would be the Eddie Guerrero Latino Heat shirt. Oh, that's great. He was one of my all-time favorites, and of course, and Pro Wrestling Crate has made some great ones of his. Yeah, Eddie Guerrero was great. He was. I used to see him on the road all the time, and I traveled with he and Chris Benoit and Perry Saturn, and yeah, I miss those days. Um, Night Warrior Alive. I'm glad you're alive, Night Warrior. Have you seen Don Morocco? Whenever I think of Don Morocco, I think of Jimmy Snuka saying his name. Don Morocco, brother. Have I seen Don Morocco lately? I have not. What's he been up to these days? I do talk to him online. He's living in Hawaii and he's retired and just he's a beach bum. Bill, come to Ireland and get stoned with the King of Green style. Do you have sparkling ice there? I don't get stoned at all. I'm trying to get kayfabe events when I come there in November to England to bring me to Ireland. So get a hold of kayfabe events and tell them you need me to come over there. So yeah, I would love to come back to Ireland. I was only there once on a vacation. I loved it, me boy. Don't forget in July for your podcast to get Barbara Goodish and others on for the 30-year passing of Brody. Great idea. Remind me a week or two before that, Tony. Great one. Do you feel Samoa Joe versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles would be a great main event? Yes. You know what? Nakamura is the most animated wrestler, I think, to ever come out of Japan. I really think so. Yeah. Very animated. I love him. Love his. I don't speak English. So, the great one saying Timothy, Eddie had a great t-shirt, but I feel Austin had the best shirt line, really. Yeah, he had a good one too. Bob is so underrated, meaning Bob Backlund. My friend thinks he's better over Bruno. Two different styles. Bruno was scientific, but more of a brawler. Backlund was more of a scientific wrestler. Teddy, enough is enough, and it's time for a change. I like things the way they are. Rock Shasa, welcome. Backlund was awesome as a heel. He was, but he was also awesome as a scientific wrestler. Bill, next time you're in Minnesota, go to Broadway Pizza or the Pizza Ranch. I love pizza. What do you think in history was the craziest? Who do I think in history was the craziest manager of all time? Could have been Captain Lou Albano. He was at least the most versatile there. Because anytime he had a guy, let's say he had Fujin Tanaka, he dressed up Japanese. When he had the Samoans, he was like a Samoan. Yeah. So it's 4:20 a.m. in the United Kingdom. So I am sure that Sir Linsky is asleep right now. Bill, do you feel Austin versus McMahon was a way of getting back at Eric Bischoff for the firing of Steve, hence Steve hating the boss in the Vince storyline? No, I just think that it was a great idea. I don't think that really had anything to do with it. It was the start of the Attitude Era, and it's the start of them kicking WCW's winning streak over. But no, I don't think it was a getting back or anything like that. Timothy Phillips Jr., have a blessed night. You too. Thank you for answering my question. Always great to hear and learn from one of the best minds in wrestling. Prayers for a great week. God bless. Thank you so very much, Timothy. I really do appreciate that. Luke Geddes, are you related to Jane by any chance, Luke? Do you like the way NWA is going now? Yeah, and I can't wait to see Cody Rhodes against NWA World Champion Nick Aldis at All In. And I predict Cody's going to become champion. Just my prediction. No, I don't know anything about it. I just think this is Cody's destiny now. This is his next step to greatness. All right, Teddy Two Stone Heart. I'm trying to remember the name of that British promoter. Oh, driving me nuts. MD Song, I would say Eddie Creechman was insane. He was, but Captain Lou was more insane. Luke says he hopes Cody gets the NWA belt. Do you have any good memories of pro wrestling in Chicago? Night Warrior Alive. Yeah, I do. I covered many shows at the Chicago Amphitheater, and I was there the night that Hulk Hogan beat Nick Bockwinkel and thought he won the belt, but he didn't. Bockwinkel got it back. But that old building, the Chicago Amphitheater, loved it. Wow. I'm doing this because my mouth is dry. I don't have any of my Tic Tacs down here. Gone 40 minutes and 38 seconds. I was going to do 15 minutes. Thanks for all coming in here. And the great one, Bill, if you had to pick your favorite feud of any era of all time, that is, what would it be? Steamboat Flair. No, best series of matches ever. Ever. Steamboat versus Ric Flair. Classy, great matches. Great one says Captain was good manager, but the Wiz was so underrated. That's true, but still, the Captain was the most versatile. August 23rd, shameless plug. First day of fair at 2:50 p.m. Central on KFAN during Dan Cole. Will be my 41st year at fair and 18 years on the radio. MD Song, my buddy Tony. So that's great, Tony. Congratulations. Richard says Chicago is where Vern Gagne regained the AWA belt in 1980. That is true, but I will always remember the Hulk Bockwinkel series. Also, Nick Bockwinkel against Bob Backlund at the Chicago Amphitheater. Wow. What a match. I was at ringside and I shot that. Luke says, thank you so much, Bill. You made my day. Take care. Wait, Luke, before you go, are you related to Jane Geddes, who was the assistant to Triple H for several years? Because I haven't seen that last name for many people. X-Labe, L-A-B-E, welcome into the room. Big Ray got me here listening to the greatest of all time, young Bill Apter. Well, thank you very much. And a lot of young Bill Apter. If you go to the One Wrestling video channel, there's a lot of these audio tapes from when I was younger, from the 70s. Classic audios with Bruno Sammartino, Pedro Morales, and Captain Lou Albano, Grand Wizard, and so many others. One Wrestling video. Thank you. And hey, Big Ray, thanks for sending people my way. Jordan Culbertson, first time here. Chattanooga is also, no, actually we talked before here. Chattanooga is also home. I love Chattanooga, Tennessee, by the way. Chattanooga is also home to Ted Turner, Eddie Graham, and the best big man in the history of professional wrestling, Terry Gordy. Oh, one of the original Freebirds. I love Terry. Terry was a great guy. Great guy. Went out and partied with the Birds many, many times. Yeah, cassettes, bro. Most of your family, Luke, is from Scotland. Okay. Young Bill Apter, when are you coming to Los Angeles? Not booked there at all. I want to do a book signing there, but no one has booked me there. So get somebody to Icon Events. Rattle their chain a little bit and ask them. Thank you, Luke. Oh, my favorite New Zealand wrestler? Sheepherders, of course, the Bushwhackers. All right, I'm just about out of time. One or two more questions, and then I'm out of here for the evening. I do want to remind you of a few things. Again, June 9th, I will be at Legends of the Ring in Monroe Township, New Jersey. Go to www.legendsofthering.com. I will be at All In and StarCast Labor Day weekend. I will be in November for kayfabe events in several cities in the United Kingdom and lots of other places that'll keep you updated. Remember, no live show tomorrow night. Make sure, yes, please talk to Icon Events. The great one with Cena. Would Cena being the leader of the NWA pushed by Hogan be a good idea to revive the NWA? Oh, no, let the NWO go. Let's remember it the way it was, because it'll never be duplicated. Doesn't matter who would be in it right now. Cena, anybody. It's just let us have the great memories of what it was. Don't keep bringing it up. Brian Bowman, hey, one of my favorite people in the whole world, thegorillaposition.com. I was just about to go to sleep and had to stay up to watch. Well, I'm glad, and I will see Ryan Bowman. I understand that All In, because it's right in his neighborhood. But please go to thegorillaposition.com. I always say Ryan Bowman and Michael Malquire, whatever it is, run a very classy website. So go visit them. Don't forget to visit me on onewrestling.com and click the banner about 350 days. And hopefully we'll have a lot of you meet me for the showing on June 12th at the Regal Theater in Warrenton, Pennsylvania. Come on out to see that movie. I'm not paying your way in. And then let's go have some pizza and talk about it. And I'm not paying for pizza either. But we'll do that. It's a date. Oh, more questions. Okay, I'll hang out for a little while longer. I'm so flattered. Thank you all for doing this. Bill, talk to Mr. Wrestling #2 again and JJ Dillon. I will do that. 2 was in Georgia and Alabama 2 weeks ago doing autograph signings. And I talked to him recently. Bill Apter, what are you up to, boy? Young Bill has always been all in since the beginning. Thank you. X-Live, how you and Vince Russo for a discussion? I'd be fine with that. Bill, you're the best. Thank you. Do you think Punk is all in? I know he's doing an autograph signing there. I think it would be great because they're sold out already if he did a run-in. I'd like to see that. Yeah. Kelly Matthews, Bill is the man. Thank you, Kelly. I always wondered how WWE was against things that weren't PG, not acceptable around New Generation, but Goldust, the gimmick was, and was a controversy with his acts. Is it just me, Bill? He was way back then. I wouldn't let my son watch Goldust back then. He was too controversial, but now he's a cool character. I'm glad Goldust is still around. Everyone needs to make sure they pay for young Bull the whole way he's top talent. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean, but Ryan Bowman, we have to get some deep dish Chicago-style pizza on September 1st. I am definitely all in for that. Once again, before I leave, my book is Wrestling Fixed. Let's hear it. I didn't know it was broken. The audio version, which I do all the imitations of all the people that I talk about in the book. Well, a lot of them. So they're both available at most bookstores. And this you can get at audible.com or amazon.com. The Great One says, Scott Steiner said today WWE Hall of Fame isn't worthy. Maybe it's since Bill Apter isn't in the Hall of Fame. Well, thank you for you saying that. And hopefully one day I'll be in there. If they ever make a media division, I think they'll put me in there, hopefully. The audio version is awesome. Thank you, Kelly. That's it. I got to get out of here. Time to walk Lexi Rose. I got to take her out. And thank you all. I'm flattered that you Yosoy 1916, you're late, Mr. Apter. I remember I emailed you a few years back to work on an article for my journalism class. You responded with a great deal of kindness. I will now graduate with a BA in journalism. Congratulations with a BA. With a Bill Apter in journalism? Yes. Hey, congratulations. That's great. So because you just said that, I want you to email me at bapter@onewrestling.com, and I have a graduation present to send you. Email me, bapter@onewrestling.com, and I will send you a graduation present. Thank you for saying that. And yeah, that's great. And Yeah, tell us what university as well. Bill, after I got to get out of here and take Lexi out. We're going on 50 minutes, and we'll see you at the. And I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for that email from you so I can send you a graduation present. Bill, after with an after chat out of nowhere. Thanks for your support and your fanship, and I'll see you at the matches. All right.